Alright, so I'm out here today at a different neighborhood pond since mine's being dredged, and I'm going to be throwing 5 different baits. The first is a Carl's Amazing Bait Spintail. The second is a Molex, I don't really know how it's pronounced, little worm. It's got this ridged tail to give it vibrations, a big bite swim bait. But the first I'm going to be throwing is a Molex, again, I don't know how it's pronounced, a little swim bait. And then we'll see what I get off of this little deep diver. I haven't really fished this pond in winter much, but from what I can remember, the deep diver and like square bill style crankbaits worked pretty well here last time I fished it in the winter. Alright, so to start, I'm just going to give the little swim bait a toss and just see what my first impressions on it are. So I'm just kind of retrieving it. I'm trying to keep it on bottom, but it does seem to be more top, so I may have to add a little bit of weight. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to add some weight, but I'm just jigging it a little, and the action seems pretty solid. It's got a good profile and color, but that's just my first impressions. So I might not catch a fish, but if I do, I'll get back to you. Alright, so once I got to fishing, I noticed something that seemed kind of strange, and it kind of goes against like the fish's general behavior in the winter. There's a little deep hole right here, and it seems the little bait fish and minnows are accumulating there, which is exactly what I'd think would not happen. I'd think they'd be way out deep during the winter, but it looks like they're just hanging out down there, and I'm about to try and get an underwater shot so you guys can see their behavior up close. Alright, so I've switched it up to the little Molex worm. Molex, I still don't know how it's pronounced. And it has by far the best action I've ever seen on just a little Texas rigged worm. You probably can't see down there, but it has just an incredible swimming action for a simple worm. Like, I'm almost certain you can't see, but if you could, I mean, that's the best action I've ever seen on just a worm like this. And I think the ridges on the tail really do help with something. And I'm just going to show you the action I've been given this. I don't usually really throw Texas rigs in the winter, but I'm kind of chancing it today because I don't think I'm going to catch anything, so it's just better to learn when you don't catch anything and when you catch a lot. If you have an average day, you don't really learn much, you know. But I'm just kind of twitching it on the bottom and then doing a little retrieve, just like twitching it, bringing it in a little, and just continuing that all the way up to the shore. And whenever it gets twitched, the tail just kind of swerves in the opposite direction as the worm. I'm doing a shorter cast there to watch, and it really does have some amazing action when you do that. You're definitely going to see more of this worm in the spring. I'm hoping I'll catch a bunch on it in the spring. You'll also see a lot more of this pond in the spring. This is one of my top ponds, one of the best ponds I've ever fished. It just doesn't really produce. It's got some real nice crappie and bass that once the spring comes, especially over on that other side of the pond, the bass just roam. And then just over to my right, you can't really see because of the GoPro's field of vision, but there's this little deep ditch that I was getting the underwater footage in earlier, and if you just throw a jig or a bandito bug, you can pull up by the beds like bass after bass, each of them 12 to 18 inches, so big fish just right there sight casting them. And honestly, there's really nothing better than that. So I mean, yeah, this is about what I'm going to throw today. Those are the 2 lures that I was most impressed with. Both were by Molex, whatever you're going to call it. I'll figure that out sooner or later. But I really do like that company. Again, I'm not really sure if these baits are out for sale yet. If they are, though, I would completely recommend them. I'm going to try and put out a fly tying video later today. I've been tying a lot of Perdigan nymphs, and they're just a lot of fun to tie, so I thought I'd share that with you. And, yeah, if you liked this video, just like and subscribe to see more fishing videos just like this.